entered this, and we should be true with this. So the next thing is basic computation with NumPy. We can finish the two. We can finish the two today. I think so. But I'm not rushing. If it's, I don't think I'm going to rush it. Yeah. So the basic one thing about NumPy is that we can do every basic computation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, by just using the normal sign. For instance, if you remember when we are dealing with list in our last class, I don't think it's easy for us to do multiplication in list without using for loop. We have to use for loop if you want to multiply two lists together, for instance, or you want to add lists together. You have to use for loop. But that's different from NumPy. NumPy, you just use the addition sign or the subtraction sign, then you do your stuff. Let us just implement this quickly. Let's have array1. Array1 is mp.array. I'm creating a NumPy array that is going to have, let me say 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 4. Then I have array2, which is going to be a NumPy array, mp.array. Then we have 3, 5, 7. So these are two arrays. So just do the basic computation on them. Then you can say print array1 plus array2. You are just adding them together basically. I can give a kind of words to illustrate what I'm doing, but I don't want to be writing a lot of words, a lot of text. Come on. Anyway, I'll keep typing. Let's say I want to subtract. I can also say, yeah, what has happened here is that, let me explain this. Array1 now, I have subtracted array2 from array1. I have added, array1 and array2, 1 plus 3, 4, 2 plus 3, 7, and you can see it returned as array. Then I can also do subtraction. I'm going to do it in two ways. Array1 minus array2. Then it's going to put minus on the second array. If you are subtracting bigger number from smaller number in mathematics, 1 minus 3, that's minus 2. 2 minus 5, that's minus 3. But if you switch their side, you know that that's going to be 3 minus 1. You understand what I'm saying? Then we can also use it for multiplication and division. Then I think I will leave that to you. You can just put multiplication between them, put division between them. Division is this sign. Multiplication is, let me do it. I've forgotten that I'm doing YouTube. So multiplication array2 is going to multiply each of them, and it's going to give me back another array. When you see that, we don't have array under NumPy. Okay, let me go with your word. We have array as a method under NumPy. Yeah. Yeah, method under NumPy. We can use to manipulate NumPy. I think that will be in the book. You can check the slide or. So you release the slide before the class? Every information is on the group. Come on. Offline. You said? Yeah, it's okay. So this, what is it called? Yeah, this one is very important. It's a very important concept in machine learning or deep learning or anything that has to do with mathematics calculation in Python. Now, there is what we call broadcasting, or let me explain it this way. We call it scalar multiplication in mathematics. For instance, if I say this is 2, 3, 4, 5, this is a matrix, a 2 by 2 matrix. Then I have a let's say this is minus 2. A scalar is being multiplied. In scalar multiplication of matrix, what it means is that each of these numbers is going to multiply with each of the elements of the matrix. So I'm going to have this to be -4, -6, -8, and -10. That's what happens in scalar multiplication. Numpy also do the same thing by using a scalar that you are given to multiply each of the elements in the array. That concept, we call it broadcasting. For instance, if I'm given a numpy array to be, let's say I'm given a numpy array, mp.array, a numpy array that contains a list 1, 2, 3. Then with this numpy array that you are given, let's assume you want to do scalar multiplication. It means that let's say num multiplied by the number 2. What numpy is going to do is that it's going to broadcast. The meaning of broadcast is that this numpy array is 1, 2, 3. Then it's going to be multiplying by broadcasting these 2, turning it to a list of 3 shapes too. This is what we call broadcast, making it equivalent to the list you want to multiply it with. Broadcasting is the concept of scalar multiplication in matrix. The numpy array is going to elevate. This one is just a scalar number, one singular number, but it's going to make it look like you have the same number, the same size that you are multiplying with each other. Then these 2 multiplies this, these 2 multiply this, these 2 multiplies this. Then at the end of the day, you have 2, you will have 4, you will have 6. And that is the concept of broadcasting in number. It's a very important concept. When you start using it, you understand. When you start going deep in deep learning, you will understand the importance. But that's just how it works. Then you can see it in this image. Yeah. So let's just implement that. We have a numpy. Let me create a numpy mp.array. Then we have that to be 1, 4, 6, for instance. Then let's say I want to multiply with a scalar value. Then I can just say print, I want to do it directly, num multiplied by 1.6 or 1.5. The 1.5 is going to be repeated 3 times to give me the value. Then the reason why this one is possible is because it's a numpy. You can't do this type of thing in list. Let's assume that I have a list. Let me see if list is going to work. Let's say we have a list of 1, 4, 5. And I want to multiply with, doesn't matter. I'm just putting number. So, let's see what will happen here. My list times 1.6 or anything I want to put. Let's see what will happen here. Yeah. I got error, can't multiply sequence by non-sequence. Yeah, because list is a sequence data type. It means it's an iterable. I talked about that when we were talking about list. Before you can multiply an iterable, you have to have another iterable, something that can be looped over. So 1.4 is a constant. This multiplication can only be done in number. That is the power of numpy compared to list. This understanding is very important when we are dealing with machine learning or deep learning in particular. So let's just continue. I think we are almost done. Then we are moving to pandas now. That should be a few slides. So pandas is 2-dimensional array. We can see the row, we can see the column. Let me enlarge it. I don't think. Are you coming up or not? So we have pandas, we are familiar with it, we have created table before, rows and column. If you are dealing with data science, you normally have data in rows and column most times. And it is these pandas that we use to process it. It is built on top of NumPy. Every method that we have spoken of in NumPy now, you can implement it in pandas. So let's go on. Then I think we have some implementation here. I will just show a few implementation. Now, pandas, I think they are of 2 types. We have the one that can represent 1-dimensional structure, just like one row, like we have been explaining. And that one is called series. So if you have a list, just one row, then you can create a series for it. It's also going to be printed out like a table format. Let's see that. Let's see that in action. So if I want to use pandas, you are going to import it first. Import pandas as PD. That's the first thing you do. Then I have my pandas imported. Then let's say I want to create a series. I mean, a series is one-dimensional pandas, so to speak. So let's say I have my list, and my list contains, let's say 2, 4, or whatever I put there. So this is my list. Oh, what did I write? I did not put equal to here. So in this list, then I want to create a series, which is a one-dimensional table. Then I can say pandas list. Pandas list is equals to pd.series. That is a method for creating. This one looks like a class actually, but anyway, that's another explanation entirely. So I've created a one row panda now. Let's try and get the panda out so that you see how it looks. Yeah, it's always in table format. This table format shows the row. We have row 0, row 1, row 2. Of course, there's a way we can change the row here. We can say, let's see if this is going to work. We can say index is equals to, let's say this one is maths. I'm coming. It's going to be in list. I'm doing something here. We have maths. We have Python. We have C++. So let's see what's going to happen here. I'm trying to put index. I'm trying to change this index. By default, this one is called index, like the row, the name of the row. If you don't put any row there, it's going to give me this. If I want to change the colon, I can give the colon another title. I can say colon is equals to score or whatever. I'm just trying to beautify the table. I think I got. Is it colon or colons? I don't know. It should be colons. Yeah, I don't have that because it's a one-dimensional, table. It can't have colon. But anyway, we're going to use that in PD. So I've changed the role from 0, 1, 2 to give it a name like maths. This is my maths score. This is my Python score. It's just one-dimensional, array, pandas. So let's move on. We are done swiftly. So the next one is, okay, we are given this, then we can use this method. Don't forget that we said that both pandas are built on top of Numpy, right? So every method that you can use for Numpy, we can use all these methods, count, mean, minimum, maximum. All these methods can be used for Numpy. So you can use it directly in your pandas. So I can say that these pandas now, I want to get my mean, then I'll just say pandas list dot mean. Yep, I should get a mean. You get a mean of this data, which is 2 plus 3 plus 5 divided by 3. It's going to give us directly. Then you can do that for maximum and the rest of them. I'm not going to be doing that. I think that's clear enough. So let's move on. So another thing we have here is what's this? Oh yeah, we are moving to two-dimensional, pandas now. That one is one-dimensional. It's just going to give us row. Then we can create a dictionary that will, just like we did last week. So let's say I have grades, and the grades is a dictionary. I'm sure we are familiar with dictionary. Then I have the name of the person, AYO, and dictionary is going to have key and value. Then I want to put the value inside this, 20, 30, 50. Then I'll just copy this one and create the similitude of this. Okay. Don't forget that this one, the key, they must not be the same name. So you can say Dele, then you can say Rofia. So you can change the value here if you want, but in real world, there will be different value, of course. So I've created a dictionary now. Now from this dictionary, we can create a panda table from that. So let's say we want to create a table of values, then you can just say table equals to your pandas has been imported. To get a pandas table, then we have data frame. Then you put that grade into it. Now, because we are using a dictionary, it's going to make the key be the row, I think. No, I'm not sure. Let's just do it. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Oh, okay. I've not run this before. Then I run this now. So let's print. I did not print. Let me print it. Then we print it. Yeah, you can see it neatly formatted, giving me the key, which are the names of those individuals, are your daily Rofia, and this is what you see in your data set if you are dealing with data science. Then you can see I can change the name of those rows using. Let me just do it so that you will see. I can change the name of the row by saying that, okay, let me copy this. So I can say, okay, I want to change the name of the rows. Then the rows should be index. Am I sure? I'm not sure. I'm coming. Let me just try it here. Index should be names. I'm not sure. Let me see if it's going to give me an error. Yeah, of course. Leave it. Don't worry. When we start doing questions on machine learning, we might want to explore it further. So this aspect is very important if you want to manipulate your data. If you have a data set, you might want to check your data. You might want to check a particular column of your data. So one of the ways to check a column of your data is to, okay, I've gotten my data set now. Come out. I've gotten my data set now. Let's assume that I want to get a particular column, your column. This is column, don't forget, this row. So I can change that row. I can give it that 0. I will just say index. Let me do it for you. No, don't worry. Let me just go to Ayo. Let's say I want to get that particular column, Ayo column. Then I can say table, which is the name of the data frame. Put your square bracket. Then you will say Ayo. This one is going to give me the column Ayo. The column Ayo is with the score 20, 30, 50. You got it? So it's still giving me that 0, 1, 2. That is the row number. The row. You can change it to another name. We can using index, but I don't want to go into it now. So you can do the same for Dele or Rofia. If you want to get a particular column from your table, you just write the table name into your bracket. Then you put the column you want to get. You want to segment it. This is very important when you are looking at your data set. So let's move to another one. This one is there are two special, method that we are advised to use if I want to get the row or column. Now, you will observe that in this particular code, I could only get my table, a portion of my table using the column name. Do you understand? In this particular code that I've written, I can only get a portion of my table using the column name. I can use it maybe Ayo or Dele or Rofia. But how do I get this row? Okay. How do I get row 0, row 1, row 2? I don't think I can get it with this. There's a way to get it, but for us to get it, one way to do that is to use a method called ilock or lock. I'm going to demonstrate the two. If I want to get my row, each of the row, maybe row 0, row 1, or row 2, we can use what we call ilock, index. That I stands for index. Lock stands for location. So if I want to get index 0, which is row 0, that means I want to get 20, 70, 90. Then I will have it to be table.ilock, which is a position, a location in a particular index. And the index, I'm going to put 0 there. Let's see what we have here. We have 20, 70, 90. He's just printing it out in a, but it's getting this row. Okay. Then you can do that for the second row. If you want to get the second row, you can do this. Then it's going to get 30, 30 and 30. And that's what happens. So this particular concept is very important when you are manipulating your data. Another thing is, instead of using iLock, the iLock is going to be taking number as index, as value. I can also use name to get a particular portion like I've done up here. Then if I want to use name, I can say table.lock. I will not put iLock. I will just use lock. Then lock, I'm not going to be putting the name. What's the name that I want? Let's say I want Ofia now. She was Ofia Ben.
Is there now?
I think
Key error.
Is there?
No, you cannot use Ofia because it's not the same in that position.
No.
We are in position of 0, 1, 2.
Table.lock.
We are in position of 0, 1, 2, not Ofia side.
Location. I'm coming. I don't say error message. Key error.
Is there now?
It's there. Code the meaning correct. It's my code that is wrong. I'm speaking Yoruba. It's my code that is wrong. I'm coming.
I don't think you have to put Ofia because you are dealing with this side. It's 0, 1, and 2.
Column.
I don't understand what you are saying.
This one is just trying to use maybe like
I'm coming.
Word.
Let me see the code.
Numbers.
But according to what he said when we want to get the side that has 0.
Where is lock?
That we can use 2 methods. It didn't talk about when we want to use IO, Ofia, and the other.
Okay.
Side.
Okay. Yeah, I get what is happening now. You see this lock, we normally use it to get okay, I'm coming. Let me change something. Maybe it's gonna work. Comma, index. I want to do something. Might not work, might work. Coming, name 1.
Well, you didn't assign them to.
No. I'm coming. Let's see this. Yeah, that works. Okay. So I think maybe it works now. Or which one? Which one works now? Okay.
It's somewhere else.
Okay, somewhere else. Let me just delete this one. What am I doing here?
You need to add log to it. Table.lock.
Yeah. If you want to use where is iLock now? I thought I'm using iLock.
You deleted it. Lock. It's lock that is giving us issue, no iLock.
Why can't you change that IO to 0 or 1 or 2 to see if it's not?
There are two things. Oh. Something was wrong. It doesn't work. And I said it works.
No, you used it in table, not in iLock, not in lock. That was why it worked.
Yeah, I got it. Index. Let's say I have name 1. I'm doing something. I'm manipulating code here. Name 2. And name 3. For instance, I want to see something. So what will happen ahead? Look at this now. I've changed the name to name 1, name 2, name 3. Let me now see if I call this one by name 1. Maybe it's gonna give me what I want. Yeah, something like that.
What happened? Why?
Yeah, just do my jig. Now this is what happens. If you want to use iLock, iLock will get you. Is it the row or him? We said it's gonna give you the row, right? So you can just say iLock. Then the position that you are looking for is that row. Then this give me this row that we have here. Now, but if you want to use lock, you can only use lock with a name. I mean, a name row. You know, before now, the row was 0, 1. They are integer. So I can't. If I put that 0 there or 1 there, it's not going to work with lock. It can only work with iLock. So it's going to give me error.
Because of the indexing.
Because of the indexing. This lock can only work with name. You don't have to use the 2. You might just stick with this one. If you understand this one very well in your code where you are dealing with your data science, you can just be using this one. iLock, then you put the row that you want to get, maybe 1, maybe 0, maybe 3.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
But I have to change the name of the index here with this code before I can use lock here.
My question is that when you have a data set that has name 1, name 2, name 3, so when you are using iLock and you just put 1 there, or you have to put name 1, 2 when you are using iLock?
That's why I use the 2 now. If you want to access your data via the name of the row, you can use lock and put the name of the row. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to use iLock means index. So you can use that one with number. Instead of the name of the row now, this is row 0, row 1, row 2. Then you can put row 1, it's going to give you this.
Okay, so if I use
any of them
with the name, it won't work.
If I use iLock with the name, it won't work. We can see that now. If you want us to put it, okay, let me just put it.
It don't depend on the data set. The data set will tell us the one we have to.
Yeah. If I use this one now,
iLock. Okay, let me.
I got error now because this is iLock. iLock. This is iLock.
Well, now put 1 there.
So for iLocking, we have to use the index.
Index of the row you are interested in.
Okay.
Index of the row. That's it. I have a lot of this concept is very important for you to know so that you know how to manipulate. I think I have a lot of questions in the repo that you will practice with how to manipulate how to go from one row to the other, how to switch row, how to take some portion of the columns. They are very complex code that you have to practice with so that you'll be able to know how to deal with data sets. But
you have the answer in the repo too.
Is it?
You have the answer.
Yeah, of course. There are answers there. It's just for you to be able to practice. So we have the hair. Okay, this one is a more complex one now. It's a more complex one. In this one now, I'm using iLock, which requires index. Okay? And I want to get, what am I getting? I'm getting the first column.
We use for indexing now.
Yeah, I want to get the first column, which is column 0, and the second column 2. I'm using 2 brackets there.
Can you just...
Okay, let me
present to me.
Yeah.
Why?
Come on.
Please check me.
That's it. This one is a little bit advanced now. And this is the kind of thing we will be dealing with when you are dealing with data sets. Now, let's assume that you want to get the first column. This is a column. This is the first column. This is the second column. This is the third column. So if I want to get the first column, column 0, and the second column, column 2, which is this, don't forget that this is the second column. Okay. Don't forget that this column, they are not sequential. They do not follow themselves. And I'm getting column. Now, the first thing is that I have to get the row first. Like this first bracket indicates the row.
Okay.
Row, this is a row. Then I will get to the column by putting it into bracket again. And that's what happens here. The 0 column, comma, the 2 column, the column 2, so to speak. There are a lot of examples that you have to practice. Let me see if I have another one. Okay. This one is also complex. Now, I want to take the first 2 consecutive rows.
It's first 2.
Rows that this is 1 row, second row. The first 2 rows are following themselves. I'm looking at it this way. Now, it's a row. So I don't need 2 brackets. I'm dealing with row.
Okay.
It's because I'm dealing with column on the other side. That's why I have to put them into another bracket. Okay. This is a row now. Then I have the first 2 rows. It's going to start from 0. The first 2 rows, row 0 and row 1. Don't forget that I have this full dots, full column. This full column means that I am taking rows that follows themselves. And this number 2 is not going to get to the second to number 2. It's going to stop at number 1. Now, you see this comma is to differentiate it from column. Anytime you write code like this one is taking the row portion. And this portion, if you don't put any value here, you assume that you are starting from 0. 0 colon. This portion is for colon. If you put comma in between them, this is row. So you are taking the first 2 rows, which is 0 and 1, and you are going from the 0 colon up towards the second colon. Like this is the 2 rows, then the first colon, 1 and 2 colon. That is this one, and we should get this one, this one.
Okay.
Do you understand? The first 2 rows, 1, 2, but I'm not taking all the colon. I'm starting from the first colon, which is 0 colon. We did not put it there, but that's what happens here. Then I'm going to the second colon, which is 1 colon less, which is 0, 1. And this is it. You can say the comma here. You have to do a lot of practice before you can get your head
I
around
understand
it.
the 0.2 comma. So the second column, I don't understand that part.
The second colon is also like 0.2.
But it's going to be
This one is colon.
first,
This one is
it's going
colon.
to be first and like the 0 column and the first column.
Yeah, of course. That's what happens here too. But this one is for row.
Oh, yeah.
This one is for colon.
Okay, yeah, understand now. So we add it together.
No, not hard. We are not harding. We are just, that's the outputs down there.
78.
Yeah, this, we are taking this.
78, 19, 80.
80, 89, 48. So I think, yeah, another thing that is also very important is when you have your data set, you must be able to check the data set, descriptive statistics, so to speak. And one way to do your descriptive statistics is to use describe on the data set. Let's see if you can use that now. The describe is going to tell you everything about the data set, how many are there, which is the count, the mean of the data set, the standard deviation of the data set, the minimum, and so on and so forth. So let's see if you can use describe on this data set. You can say table, which is your, and you can say describe. Yeah. And that gives me information about the data set. What's the minimum? What's the maximum? And so on and so forth. Instead of using count, you can even use counts separately, but you can use describe. That's going to summarize all the information about the data.
Like the describers already know what to calculate, what to put in. So
it has done
it
it.
knows that it's going to do for mean, standard variation.
Yeah, it has done everything for the
25.
Yeah.
Just describe. It's going to bring everything.
Yeah. That's what it does.
But what about if I don't need everything? I just
And you can do mean separately. You can just say table mean. We did that sometime. You can say if you need mean separately, if you need mode separately.
Also do describe and delete some parts I don't.
So you can't delete from describe. Describe is going to give you everything. It's going to give you all those things that I've listed, everything at once.
After getting the answer, I can delete some. I'm just asking questions.
You cannot delete. This one is a table on it, so you can't delete anything from here. You can, okay, maybe you want to screenshot some parts and leave some parts. I don't know. But you can't delete this one. This one is like static.
Okay.
So I think finally, yeah, come on. Yeah, we are done. So let me go to the repository today and show you. There are a lot of work that you can, interact with, and it's very important you practice. It's very, very important. It's more important than listening to lecture. Important that you practice. Let me see. I should have GitHub. It's hanging again. So GitHub. Sorry. So you will see it here. Machine learning tutorial. Let's go in. Then you can see question by topic here. I think I've updated it today. You have Numpy and Pandas. You can go in. Then you see it there. So I will advise you to first try solve the question. Everything that I've spoken about today, even the Pandas, you can practice it more here. Some of them you have to think a little bit. Yeah, that's the purpose. But if you don't get the answer, don't worry. Just try your best to get as much as possible. You can get the solution here. The solution for each of them is here. You can go to Numpy and Pandas, then you can see solution for.
It's showing here now. Is your laptop?
Yeah. So we have it. So we have everything is. I make sure I comment most of the code, and I'm sure you can use ChatGPT for more clarification if you don't understand anything. But to the best of my ability, I comment it. It's very important you solve questions that is different from the one you are dealing with here. So that you will, if you solve new question, you will see that your brain will be opening up to how it's solved. You don't necessarily have to get everything at once. It takes time to get it. So you don't have to beat yourself.
I have a question, like regarding all these, these are questions normally. What about if you want to build something that is bigger? So are we going to map out everything with the code we have to use to get the thing? Or, these are just normal questions. When we want to solve real life
question, maybe
problem,
data science.
Maybe I want to build a robot that will be
working. Robot is too fast. Robot is fast. Robot is fast. If you want to build robot, you have to work times 10 as you are working on times 10.
So what you are doing here, what are we going to build at the end of the day?
They are not much. They are just 3 questions. But anyway, I hope you interact with them and make use of them.
Oh, that was all right.
That would be all.
Thank you.
But I want to strongly advise, we are piling up the topic now. Then by next class, we will be using most of these things. I will not be going back to them again, trying to explain list again most times. I will just paraphrase them if I need them. Please go and solidify them if you think you have not gotten how it works. It is not difficult to learn. If you are interested in learning it, please, it is not difficult. But it's challenging. You might need to give some time to learn it, yes, but you can learn it. I'm sure you can, because I can too. You can. So, this one, I don't mind this one. What other thing? I think we are all. I think that's all. So any questions?